Hey guys, welcome back. My name's Janice if you're new here. So today's video, I'm going to do an updated review of some RIMOWA luggage. So I think about 2 years ago, I made a review of the silver suitcase back there. That is the silver classic carry-on with the leather handle. That was the only piece I owned at that time. Since then, I've got 2 new pieces and we've been using it a lot more. Obviously, the world has opened back up and we recently moved. So I feel like I can give a much better review. So I'm going to be reviewing 3 suitcases today. So in this video, I'll tell you what I love about the luggage, some things that I dislike, would I repurchase this again, features that I wish it had, and is it actually worth the money? So in this video, I'll be reviewing the silver classic cabin with the black leather handles. I've had that for 5+ years. I'll also review, it's a newer model of the black classic cabin with the black leather handles. We've had that for about 2 years. And then also the larger silver original check-in L with the silver handle. We've had that for about 1 year. Just so you know, the smaller ones that we have, they're designed for up to 3 days of travel and the large one, 10 days of travel. So just a little spoiler, I would only recommend one of these suitcases out of the 3 that we have. So I'll explain my reasoning behind that. Okay, so first up, let's talk about pricing. So the 2 carry-on suitcases back there right now, they currently retail for $1,500 US at the time that I'm filming this. I didn't pay that for these. They seem to always go up a little bit each year. And then the larger one, that retails for $1,750 US right now. So I don't need any comments on why would you spend that much on a suitcase. This is a luxury brand video, so just keep that in mind. Everybody has their things that they like to spend their money on. For me, for example, I was just thinking, like, I have a super old iPhone. This thing is like 4 or 5 years old. I probably won't replace it until something happens to it. Some people like investing in technology. We've lived years without even owning a car, even though we could if we really wanted to. So we like spending money on travel and experiences. That's just us. And the line of work that my fiance is in, this is my opinion only, but I feel he needs a nice suitcase to travel with. So the silver one back there, he gave it to me for my birthday 1 year. And then a couple years ago, because he did really want the black one, I got that for his birthday. I do stand by what I said in the first video. Are these suitcases actually worth that much money? No, but I also said is a Chanel handbag worth, $10,000? No, you can get a very nice handbag that's made of leather for probably a couple $100s, right? So yes, you are paying for the brand name. You can get a very nice suitcase for probably a lot less than this. Do I love my suitcase though? Yes, I stand by that. So I'll go over some of my likes versus dislikes. So what I do really like is, as of last year, so July 25th, 2022, all the RIMOWA suitcases come with a lifetime guarantee. So not necessarily a warranty, but a guarantee. And they just guarantee the wear and tear. If an airline damages it, you will probably have to go through the airline for compensation. So that is a little bit of a benefit, just because the older ones came with a 5-year guarantee. Now it's a lifetime guarantee. So far, none of our suitcases, nothing has went wrong. The inside, the outside is perfectly fine so far, knock on wood. So the one suitcase I would recommend getting is the silver carry-on back there. I absolutely love it. We recently moved from Canada to Switzerland. So now we're in the world of trains. We've never really traveled that way before. It's been amazing. Just in the past few months, I think we've went to 6 different countries, and I'm not saying that to brag or anything. It's just so cheap to travel that way compared to how we're used to. And even to take a quick flight somewhere, I feel now for our lifestyle, we really need good carry-ons. So the silver one, like I've said, I've had for 5+ years. It's held up really well. You can see the corners are a little bit banged up, but other than that, it's perfect. The inside is still perfect. The black one, I will say, I'm gonna show a close-up. So the black one, after the first time he used it, I guess it had to be sky checked. So, they took it to store under the plane and it was totally scraped up. The paint is all worn off. I was actually I couldn't believe how crappy it looked after one trip. And because of that, I would never advise getting the black one. I just brought the carry-ons over to a window so you can see in daylight what they look like. So keep in mind, the silver one is 5 years old and it's still looking very nice. I do wipe it down quickly after each trip. I usually try to wipe the wheels down. We just got back from somewhere, so the wheels are a little bit dirty. So here's the black carry-on. This one is 2 years old. You can see it is a lot more beat up looking. You can also see the oils from your skin when you just touch it. It's a lot more visible. So if that bothers you, keep that in mind. Yeah, I'm not impressed with how this looks at all. I think, to be honest, this has only been sky checked once, twice at the most. Yeah, it looks a little bit beat up. If that bothers you, I would not get the black. And there you are from a distance. This one obviously looks a million times better. Maybe you're the type of person that doesn't bother you and you think it just adds character to the suitcase, and I can appreciate that. I just find the silver ones, when they get scraped or dented a little bit, I find they look better. That black one to me just looks like a cheap piece of junk. I'll be perfectly honest. Maybe women care more about that in general, but I'm just somebody, especially if I spend a lot of money on something, I really take good care of everything that I have. You know, I always wipe everything down when I come home, put it back in its little case. Yeah, just to me, that would really bother me. So I would not recommend getting the black color. Definitely go for the silver. Because my silver one back there is a bit of an older model, they've done some upgrades that I really appreciate on the black one there. But again, I would just only get that in silver. So the telescopic handle, I really like on the newer version, the black one. So mine, it only locks at 3 different points. So you can lock it obviously up where it is right now. There's a middle point there, and then at the very bottom. So 3 points. It's not really ideal though, depending on the height that you are at. This handle, you can literally lock at any point along the way, and it definitely flows up and down a lot easier. Mine is a little bit jerky. Also, I find with my suitcase, if I overpack the suitcase a little bit, I find that the handle is hard to get up and down, and I don't notice that with the black one at all. So I much prefer this. So I just wanted to show you guys the difference in handles with the carry-on. So again, keep in mind the silver one is 5 years old. The black one is a newer model. It's a couple years old. These handles are both fully extended right now, so you can see the newer one is slightly higher, and I much prefer this one just because you can lock it at any point along the way. And with the older version, there is, I think, 3 places it locks. So it locks at the top, obviously, where it was there, and then down. It's just not quite as smooth when you get it into those locking positions as the newer model. So don't worry if you get a suitcase now, it's going to be like this. The button is slightly different. And this one is just, yeah, they've really done a good job improving it. It's just very seamless, and it locks at any point along the way. So yeah, the newer one is much better. I love it. So other things I like, as far as the silver one, I personally have never seen a suitcase that I like more. I just really like the appearance of that, especially with the leather handle. It is so comfy, and I just find it very easy to pick up. It doesn't hurt your hand at all. It's very easy to grip when you're picking it up out of the overhead bin or even on a train. I've been noticing a lot. Sometimes I'll take the 2 small ones, he'll take a big one, and it's just very easy to grab. So I love that. I think even if you had a small child, it's very easy for them to pick up too, depending, you know, on their age. The thing I like most about all the RIMOWAs though are definitely the wheels. I personally think they are just the best gliding wheels. Any which way, they're amazing. The suitcase pushes so easily, like with no effort. It goes over all various types of terrain. Both of them roll beautifully though. Just any which way, you need to roll it like this, on its side, pushing it. It's just amazing. It's really nice. Same with the black one. The newer black one rolls beautifully. I don't notice any difference in the wheels at all from the older to the newer model. I'm not sure if they changed those at all, but they feel the same to me. I will warn you, if you're on uneven terrain though, don't let go of your suitcase just because it does wheel so easily on its own. It can definitely get away from you. In Canada, where we're from, or even the train stations, everything's pretty nice and smooth, but I've definitely noticed in Europe, you're going over cobblestones. Even we went to London for a week and we walked pretty far to the hotel with our suitcases, and you know, the streets are very bumpy and narrow, and they still wheeled really great. They weren't flipping around or anything. So I just find on all different sorts of things, going up and down the stairs, I don't know, I just really enjoy that leather handle. It's very comfy, and I just find it's very easy to grip even if it's hot outside. Sometimes I notice on the plastic one, it just doesn't feel the same. I like how on the top of it, it is definitely wide enough that you can put a tote bag or your backpack. I think I will just order on Amazon like an elastic strap that goes around so you can hold a bag on top. Also, I've seen online, just on Amazon or probably other websites have them connecting straps. So I find also if you're traveling with a partner, you might want to think about getting the same carry-on suitcase as them, because what I'm realizing is when they both wheel exactly the same and you can make the handles the same height, it just makes it so easy if, you know, one person's responsible for like a larger suitcase and then the other one takes the two smaller ones. I just find it's very easy to maneuver both of them. Even down cobblestone streets, I was carrying both of them behind my back and I didn't have a problem with them at all. I find they wheel down the aisle of trains and airplanes really well. They're not so big that they're bumping into people, and I don't find these ones heavy at all to lift into the overhead compartment. Keep in mind though, like we're both fairly tall people, so that has something to do with that too, but I find that they're very good. Something I like about all the RIMOWAs, because I know a lot of people have IKEA pack systems. We recently got the one room, some IKEA wardrobes installed, and they're wide enough that you can just actually stack them on top or in the bottom. So it's just kind of a little tip if you have that and you want to keep them close to your closet but out of the way. All the suitcases have TSA approved locks. Probably, I'm sure every suitcase does. I haven't had a problem with any of the locks so far. So I just wanted to show you the difference in the locks. So the carry-on looks like this. You just put your code in and then the buttons slide to the side and then these will pop open. I like that all the suitcases have the reinforced corners. My last video I was reviewing comments. Someone said they didn't like the divider in theirs because small things could escape around the edges. I've personally never had an issue with that. Usually I just pack things, you know, obviously in a makeup or cosmetics bag, and then those packing cubes, I just have them from Amazon. I've never had an issue with that. Depending, you know, what you like to pack, that might be something you want to take into consideration, but that has not been an issue for me. I find their Velcro straps, they're made of like a rubbery material. They, you know, stick down really well. Never had an issue with it opening, and trust me, I've overpacked this before. Just to show you the inside, I don't think that they've changed them from the newer to the older model. Both of these sides, you can remove the dividers if you want. It comes with a zipper there. Their own version of Velcro there, so it's more like a rubbery material. Yeah, and I find it stays pretty good. The material hasn't worn out at all in any of the suitcases, and the inside of the larger one literally looks the exact same as the smaller carry-on. These are removable if you want. Obviously, a downside with this type of suitcase, it's not necessarily RIMOWA, but it's not expandable. So that could be good or bad. If you want to discourage yourself from shopping on a trip, you're not fitting anything extra in this. You can overpack it slightly and like sit on it to close it, which I've had to do, but I find when I do that with mine, the handle is sometimes harder to go up and down. I have heard people say I think they're like the polycarbonate suitcases that RIMOWA have, they're a little bit more expandable. We also have some bigger suitcases that are just Air Canada brand ones. They're not, I don't think they're for sale for the public, but they're just nothing special, but it's just a more expandable suitcase. So depending where we're going, if we know that we need to pick up things, we'll use that one. One thing that I would really like that all the suitcases had is some sort of locking mechanism on the wheels, just because they do glide so easily, almost like a baby stroller. I wish you could lock the wheels. I noticed when we were taking the train somewhere in London, I had just stood my suitcase up and put it where you put the luggage, and then it was like going down the aisle just because it glides so easily. So just something you want to keep in mind. You might want to just lay the luggage on its side, or just make sure you're standing near it so it doesn't get away. So the bigger one, the reason I got that, again, I gave it to him for another birthday present last year. I just really didn't know what to get him. I wanted it in, they had like a limited color. It was like a dark gunmetal gray. That's what I intended to get, but it sold out pretty quickly. So I just got the classic silver again. You know, I love how it looks. It wheels beautifully, all the same things that I said about this. I just think for the small amount of times that we've used that, we've had that one only around 1 year. It's starting to look a little bit beat up, which is okay. I mean, they're kind of like Converse shoes. The more that you wear them or use them, I think that gives it character. And here are all three of the suitcases, just so you can see the difference between the carry-on and the check-in. And to be honest, the check-in just looks the exact same. The locks look a little bit different. I think the biggest issue for me with the bigger suitcase is that it's not expandable. And usually, you know, on a trip, you pick up, you know, 1 or 2 items. And I just feel like for my lifestyle, it doesn't really work. I would just rather have an expandable one. I'm thinking maybe I should have got like a polycarbonate trunk from RIMOWA. That might have worked better for me. You can see there is a slight dent in it, and this is after using it not that many times. So yeah, like I said, I would recommend this one. I think I would save your money and skip on these two though. So in closing, if all the luggage got lost during travel, what would I repurchase? I would not repurchase the big one. I would just make do with our Air Canada ones that were much more affordable and they're expandable. I would not repurchase the black, but we both agree we would purchase 2 new ones of the silver with the leather handle. We really love this suitcase, and the black is okay if you don't mind it getting chipped or banged up. I just really love this suitcase. I love how it wheels. It makes me feel happy every time I pack it. And I know myself, I take very good care of things. I will definitely have that my whole lifetime. I will never have to buy another suitcase. Now living in Europe too, it's just such a different lifestyle. You can go somewhere on the train for not very much money and get away for the weekend. So I would really probably encourage people like that to invest in a nice carry-on and to have it for your whole life. I think it makes a very nice gift for a partner or a child or a parent that likes to travel a lot too. Even, you know, maybe your parent is retiring and they plan to do a lot more travel. I think that is a very nice gift, and you can always pass it down to somebody. You can probably always sell it for quite a bit of money and get most of your money back too, because the price of them keep going up. I personally do not think you would regret buying this suitcases. The other ones though are a little bit iffy. As always, I will link the suitcases down below. That will take you to the RIMOWA website. You can read the dimensions, the specs a little bit more in detail. Until next time, bye.